Hi, I'm Ryan, and you are watching my YouTube series on functional programming. In this episode, we are going to learn about the chain operator, and we will see an example of how to use it in your code while composing functions. Now, the code of this episode will build upon the code that we saw in the previous episode for the join operator. And if you haven't seen that one, the link for that is on screen right now. It's also in the description. And I would strongly recommend that you watch that one because in this episode we're going to breeze through it. So here's the example that we saw for the join operator, and just to go through it quickly, I have a function that reads a file and returns some mock data, assuming this data comes from the file. I have a json.parse to parse the data, and I have a print function. We define the join function over here, and we learned in the previous episode that if you have a container and another container being returned in a subsequent function, we have to use a join so that we don't have to do nested maps for other functions that are expecting primitives. Well, the interesting fact about this is that given that returning a container is going to be a very normal operation, like you're going to you have an either over here and then you have an either over here, it's likely you will end up doing map and join a lot of times in your sequence, and it's just painful to have to do that all over again, right? Every time you have a function which returns a container, you're going to have to do map and join. In order to help us with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a function called as chain, and it's just like your map with one small difference. It does f.map.join, which is exactly what this is: map followed by a join. So now I can get rid of this function over here. I can get rid of this function over here, and I can say chain because it's going to combine the map and the join just like we did here, right? So now if I run my code here, you see I'm simply going to get the value not empty, and if I have an error, it's not going to print anything because there's no we don't have a fold function here which prints an error case. But if the value is correct and we try to print it, we get a not empty value. And this simplifies your code a little bit. Well, if you want to know when to use chain, just keep one rule of thumb in mind, and that is if you have a function that returns a functor and your current function is trying to return another functor, then you need to use chain instead of map. And that is all you need to remember if you want to spend less time debugging stuff. Subsequent functions or functions in a sequence that have that are returning containers need to use chain instead of map so that it has an explicit join. And that's about it for this video. I hope you found this useful, and if you did, please subscribe, like, let me know in the comments if you have questions as well. Thanks for watching.